After finding my girlfriend's phone unlocked, I discovered she and her friends had a group chat rating their boyfriends. I was dead last in every category, and they shared intimate photos mocking my body. When I confronted her, she just laughed and said, "You should be grateful I even touch you." I didn't respond. 3 weeks later, she showed up at my door. "Please, babe, I'm begging you." Never thought I'd be one of those guys posting revenge stories, but here we are. Still can't believe how quickly 4 years of my life went up in flames, or how little they actually meant to her. I'm 32, run my own IT security firm. Amber was 29, worked in marketing at a fashion company. We met at a friend's wedding, hit it off immediately. Smart, gorgeous, way out of my league. At least that's what I thought at the time. Turns out she thought so too. 3 weeks ago, Amber left her phone on the coffee table while she showered. It was unlocked. Not that I was snooping, but a group chat notification popped up that caught my eye. Boyfriend rankings updated. With a laughing emoji. Something in my gut told me to look. Call it intuition or self-preservation, but I'm glad I did. The group chat was called BF Review Board, with Amber and 7 of her friends. Women I'd met, had dinner with, even vacationed with. Women who smiled to my face while apparently laughing behind my back for years. They had a detailed spreadsheet rating their boyfriends in categories: income, body, sexual performance, future potential, social status. Each category had scores and detailed comments. I scrolled through, stomach turning as I realized I was dead last in every category. But the comments, those were what broke something inside me. At least he makes decent money, but God, those skinny arms. I always close my eyes and think about Chris Hemsworth. How do you not laugh when he gets naked? Send another pic of his chicken legs. And there they were. Private photos of me changing after a shower, sleeping, getting dressed. Photos I never knew existed. Photos Amber had taken secretly and shared with her friends. My body, my most intimate moments, dissected and mocked by women who'd eaten at my dinner table. The worst part? Amber had written most of the cruelest comments. "He thinks I'm going to marry him. Can you imagine being stuck with that mediocrity forever? But his company's valuation is rising, so I'm waiting for the right moment." I took screenshots of everything, then put her phone back exactly where it was. When she got out of the shower, I acted normal. Completely normal. Asked about dinner plans, discussed weekend options. Inside, I was already gone. The next day, I casually mentioned something about her friends' group chat. Her eyes narrowed. "Did you go through my phone?" I saw the notification. "Interesting ranking system you guys have. It's just a stupid game. Why are you making this into a big deal?" "I'm not making it anything, just curious why I'm ranked last in every category." She rolled her eyes. "Oh my God, it's just for fun. Everyone exaggerates for laughs. Even the secret photos of me naked? Those for laughs too?" Her expression changed, defensive to dismissive in seconds. "Don't be so sensitive. Guys share worse stuff about women all the time." "I don't." "Well, aren't you just perfect then?" She crossed her arms. "Look, if you can't handle a little joke, maybe that proves my point about your ranking. So 4 years together and I'm just a joke to you?" She laughed then, a cold sound I'd never heard from her before. "You should be grateful I even touch you. Do you know how many guys would kill to be with me?" I didn't respond, didn't yell, didn't give her the satisfaction of seeing me hurt. Just looked at her for a long moment, then walked out of the room. That night, I slept in the guest room. The next morning, I called my lawyer, my accountant, and my business partner. I had work to do. See, what Amber didn't understand about dating an IT security specialist is that I know how systems work, including social systems. I understand vulnerabilities, access points, and how to execute a clean exit strategy. And I had just the plan. First, the practical matters. We weren't married, but we'd been living in my condo for 3 years. Amber had never paid toward the mortgage, but had been talking about putting her name on the deed for tax purposes. Thankfully, I'd always delayed. I contacted my property manager and arranged for the locks to be changed the following week when Amber would be at her company's 3-day marketing retreat. Then, I methodically began separating our digital lives, removing her access from my accounts, subscriptions, and backup cloud storage. Most importantly, I secured my company data. Amber had occasionally helped with some marketing materials and had access to some non-critical systems. All of that had to go. The personal stuff was trickier. 4 years together means intertwined lives, photos, memories, mutual friends. I didn't want any of it anymore. But I also didn't want a dramatic scene, so I planned a controlled demolition instead. For the next week, I was the perfect boyfriend. Attentive, thoughtful, normal. Meanwhile, I quietly moved my important documents and irreplaceable items to my office, redirected my mail, prepared a new place to stay temporarily. The day Amber left for her retreat, I helped her pack, kissed her goodbye, and then executed everything in sequence. First, I moved out what mattered to me, about 20% of the condo's contents. The rest, the furniture we'd picked together, the art, the kitchen gadgets she loved, I left untouched. Material things can be replaced. My self-respect couldn't. Then I had the locks changed, the security system recoded, and her key fob deactivated. Legally sound since the property was solely in my name, and she had no rental agreement or equity claim. Next came the digital separation. I didn't just block her. That would be too obvious. Instead, I set up forwarding rules and filters. Her messages would appear delivered, but would actually go to a separate folder I'd never have to see. Her calls would ring, but go straight to voicemail. To her, it would seem like I was just ignoring her. In reality, I would never even know she was trying to reach me. The third step was the social firewall. I didn't blast her publicly. That's amateur hour. Instead, I sent individual messages to 10 mutual friends I actually cared about. Included screenshots of what she'd said about me, about them. Oh yes, her friends rated them too. And about their partners. No commentary needed. Just evidence. For my business contacts, I sent brief professional notes explaining that Amber and I had parted ways and to direct any communications to my official channels only. Then I checked into a high-end hotel across town, ordered room service, and slept better than I had in months. Amber's retreat ended early on the third day. I know because the security cameras I'd installed at the condo, which she never knew about, sent me alerts when she tried to enter. I watched remotely as she discovered her key didn't work, her code was rejected, and her increasing panic as she realized what was happening. The first text started at 8:42 p.m. What the hell? My key doesn't work. Are you serious right now? Answer me. I didn't, of course. Didn't even see them until much later when I checked that filtered folder. A week later, she emailed me a spreadsheet of her supposed contributions to our household expenses over 3 years, demanding her fair share of the joint purchases we'd made. I didn't respond. Never opened the attachment. That money was the cheapest price I could pay to learn who she really was. Her friends started texting next. The loyal defenders sent to make me feel guilty. They got the same digital black hole treatment. By the second day, she was at my office. My staff had been briefed. Polite, professional, but absolutely no access and no information about my whereabouts. The security footage showed her screaming at my assistant, demanding to know where I was. My assistant, Kate, handled it beautifully. Calm, emotionless, and with security on speed dial. By the end of the first week, the social implosion was complete. Those screenshots had worked their way through our social circle. Amber's friends had turned on each other, realizing they'd all been subjects of mockery too. Their little ratings club had become mutually assured destruction. It was during the second week that Amber's marketing firm went through an unexpected security audit. Nothing to do with me, officially. But when auditors discover an employee has been using company servers to store and share unauthorized explicit images, there are protocols that must be followed. Employment terminated. Legal team notified. Personal items shipped to her sister's address, where she'd been staying since finding herself locked out of my condo. By week 3, Amber was effectively homeless, crashing with her sister, jobless, and socially radioactive. Not a single mutual acquaintance would touch her situation. The perfect boyfriend she'd mocked had disappeared, leaving only scorched earth behind. That's when she showed up at my hotel. Still don't know how she found me. Probably bribed someone at my office. She was waiting in the lobby when I returned from a business dinner. Please, she sobbed, makeup streaking down her face. Please, I'm begging you, just talk to me. I walked past her toward the elevator. I lost my job. I have nowhere to go. My sister's kicking me out. The elevator doors opened. I stepped inside. You can't just throw away 4 years. I made one mistake. As the doors began to close, I finally spoke. Actually, it was 137 messages over 2 years, I counted. The doors shut on her shocked face. That night, she emailed me, somehow getting through my filters, with a desperate proposal. She'd sign a non-disclosure agreement, never contact me again, if I'd just help her with 1 month's rent on a new place. I had my lawyer respond with a single document, a complete record of the explicit photos she'd taken without consent and shared without permission, along with the relevant statutes regarding invasion of privacy and revenge porn. Except in this case, she was the perpetrator and I was the victim. No threats, just facts. Never heard from her again. It's been 2 months now. I'm back in my condo, which I've completely redecorated. My company landed 2 major contracts, partly because clients appreciate working with someone who handles security breaches decisively and discreetly. I've started dating again, cautiously. Turns out when you raise your standards and value yourself, you attract people who do the same. My new rule is simple. I don't accept anything less than mutual respect. As for Amber, I heard she moved back to her hometown. Sometimes people ask if I went too far. Maybe, but I prefer to think of it as a proportional response. She spent years secretly judging me, finding me wanting, and undermining my dignity. All I did was show her precisely how much she'd underestimated me. Edit. Holy shit, this blew up overnight. Thanks for all the awards and support. To answer the most common questions. 1. Yes, I still have all the evidence securely stored, including the photos she took without consent. 2. No, I didn't pursue legal action, though I easily could have. Why? Because legal proceedings would mean interacting with her, discussing her, thinking about her. Court cases drag on for months or years. I didn't want her taking up any more space in my life. The document from my lawyer served its purpose, showing her exactly how screwed she'd be if I decided to go that route. I chose the cleaner option, complete erasure from my life. 3. Several people asked if I felt bad about her losing her job. Not even slightly. Her company had strict policies about using work servers for personal content. She violated those policies to store and share explicit photos taken without consent. Her choices, her consequences. 4. For those saying I should have confronted her directly. Why? She already showed me who she really was, both in that group chat and when she laughed and said I should be grateful she touched me. People who respect you don't need ultimatums or second chances to treat you with basic dignity. 5. About the condo situation. No, I never moved out permanently. I temporarily stayed at a hotel for the first few weeks after changing the locks, then moved back in once I'd redecorated and removed all traces of her. My temporary absence was strategic, not surrendering my property. 6. And to the guy who called me cold-blooded. When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. Being calculating isn't the same as being cruel. I didn't destroy her life, I simply removed myself from it completely and let her experience the natural consequences of her actions. Sometimes the best revenge isn't making someone suffer. It's making them irrelevant.